Hello, Aquarius. Welcome to Mind, Body, and Heart Tarot Therapy. I'm here to do the reading for the month of October 2019. It's going to be your general reading for Aquarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising signs. If it resonates, it resonates. If it doesn't, then it's just not your reading. The High Priestess is your current energy. Do not try to fit it in. Use your own intuition and your inner wisdom to understand how these messages apply to you. Take what works for you and let the rest go. Okay, let's see what comes in as your challenge. What's challenging for you in October 2019, my dear Aquarius? I hope you're well. I hope you had a nice September. Okay, we have the Empress as your challenge. We have the Nine of Swords as your focus. Interesting. We have the Queen of Cups as your advice. And we have the Queen of Wands. A lot of characters here as your future energy. And bottom of the deck we have the King of Swords as your underlying energy. And King of Swords is your energy, Aquarius, right? This is the archetype that embodies your energy. So what is maybe your theme right now? It's literally how to be yourself, how to be, who are you really? How do you use the energy available to you in a way that honors you? And we're gonna go through that. Let's pull out the clarifiers first to go a little bit deeper into this. Have a deeper feeling about what is this going on. And the High Priestess here as your current energy seems that you're spending some time going within and finding that wisdom within, really connecting to the inner voice, that the most wise part of ourselves is usually the heart. That's why she has this cross at the heart. All right, so we have the Three of Wands with the High Priestess as your current energy. We have the Star, your card again. The Star is the Aquarius energy. We have the Two of Swords with the Nine of Swords as your focus. We have the Six of Swords with the Queen of Cups as your advice. We have the Two of Wands with the Queen of Wands as your future energy. And bottom of the deck we have the Lovers with the King of Swords. Okay, with all these shadows and weird lights, I'm just gonna let them here. I hope you can see them. So the King, great. Okay, let's just bring this over here a little bit. The King of Swords with the Lovers. You know, how to be yourself and how to love yourself. This is pretty much the theme of your reading right now. Like, how am I going to get inside myself, befriend myself, understand my qualities, understand my shadow side, and fully embrace that, fully embrace whoever I'm going to meet. Because sometimes, like, we find things within ourselves that fully surprise us. We are so used to look at ourselves from other people's eyes and views and expectations that we completely forget how to be surprised by our inner child, by our, I don't know, being able to see the things of ourselves that we're not used to see. And that can be both good and what we consider to be bad. The more shadowy aspects of the self, the way we deceive ourselves, or the way we don't see how we do things that annoy us in other people, that type of projection and mirroring But also there can be amazing stuff like, I don't know, in your case Aquarius, your ability to see the big picture, your ability to connect with the whole humanity at large and understand the human condition with a type of clarity that not many can. And embrace yourself in all aspects, all the good, the bad and the ugly. It's what brings you home. It's what brings you in full awareness, and it's what enables you really to mm, be in the full authority of yourself, honoring both yourself and the world by being who you are. Hope that makes sense to you, um Aquarius. And of course, if it talks about if you're in love or in a partner relationship or in a that type of soulmate relationship, engaged with somebody close to you, not doesn't necessarily need to be in a romantic way. But of course, with the lovers, we tend to think about the romantic relationships even more. It's how to show up in relationships as yourself, fully honoring yourself, and same time fully honoring the other person as well. How to appear in this partnership or with through communication, and we using the best of your skills, but also embracing your darker side, the darker side of the King of Swords or of the Aquarius archetype. It can get disconnected from his emotions, right? Can get a little bit on a cold side, and it can happen to you a lot, Aquarius. Kind of detached from the emotional stuff. It can be icky, and you can get so much more comfortable staying in your mind and resolving everything logically and rationally, talking about emotion as if you're a psychiatrist analyzing yourself, but not really allowing yourself to feel it. And that can be fantastic and learn a lot, but at the same time it can also be maddening for the people you're in relationships with, because they're like, can you please feel through that and stop analyzing things so we can move on from the situation. I mean, like, the mind is amazing, but sometimes we can end up a little bit too cold with just the mind. We need the heart to get involved as well. And you can do this like you're the water bearer as well. You can really hold a lot of emotions. But please do acknowledge this within yourself, that sometimes you take the easy way out through not feeling your emotions, and that it's just part of your archetype and the way you and show up into the world. So find ways to honor that as well, and to connect with yourself, knowing who you are, embracing that, and yeah, embracing and learning how to embrace yourself within a relationship as well. Okay, my darling. So your current energy is the High Priestess with the Three of Wands. And High Priestess, as I said earlier, talks a lot about like being held by your emotions in this case, and being like able to really go within and understand your emotions and use them as a like being able to get the wisdom from that, get close to really get really really close to the our inner voice, the one that speaks from the heart, the one that speaks from our intuition, from your feminine, from your yin energy. um that's not necessarily so reliant on the mind. And I think you're exploring this right now, Aquarius. You can have access to this through your connection to the collective. Well, you do need to go into silence for this. You need to go within to connect to this collective consciousness, and get that wisdom from within. Right. And with the three of wands here, I think like, yeah, you're doing it. You're learning how to do this, and you're learning also how to uh and you're seeing how the actions that you put into the world start having an effect, start like whatever it is that you put out there, you start seeing the results. You send in the emails and you're waiting to see the results, and the results are coming, see, one way or another. But you see how you're affecting your environment, and that comes with deep understanding, deep understanding. So it can be taken to a very deep level, Aquarius. Depend on each and every one of us how deep we go with a certain um insight or understanding. We can get a deep understanding of something that's still very much at the surface, or we can get a very deep understanding of something that's at the core of things. So it's up to you to see where you are, and I think you have right now that presence and that intuition to understand and really meet yourself where you are, not what you expect yourself to be, not where you wish not to be, but really meet yourself exactly where you are, and that's where that's when you can actually implement some type of change and growth. Threes talk about growth, and here's the Empress as well, with which is three and the star. And that's a little bit challenging for you right now, actually, integrating also the physical aspect and integrating the feminine aspect of the earth, where we're connecting really with free. The Empress talks about sensuality. The Empress talks about um, being fully present in our bodies. And again, it's feminine energy, embracing that feminine energy within you, and enable your creativity to come from this place of embodiment. And it comes with the star, which is the other aspect of the Aquarius energy, which is the being the healer, in a sense, like you heal. When the star talks about hope and healing, and so after the tower comes down in the major arcana journey, the star comes as to heal the wounds, and you always have the best intention of the world at heart. But if you don't go in there to feel, if you don't allow yourself to really get more grounded and embodying your feminine aspects, the parts of yourself that don't get that much space, you won't be able to advocate for everyone. You won't be able to connect with those parts of people, and you can end up trying to save the fish from drowning and putting it on a tree. Was that saying? I know it from Alan Watts, but I'm sure that it came from someplace else. Like, oh, let me help you, says the monkey, putting the fish safely on a tree branch or something like that. You understand my point, hopefully. That if you don't connect to deeper the feminine aspect of yourself, to that creativity that comes from a different place than the mind, but from the body, from the connection to the um connection to the earth, to the more physical aspect of reality, then the healing that you bring may not really help, both to yourself and others. It may actually end up having other effects. And Nine of Swords with the Two of Swords are your focus. So you may be focusing a little bit on how you're, I don't know, where your anxieties and fears, and you may want to hold off communication for a little bit. Take your time. Take your time to think through. Take your time to use the diplomacy you need to use in order to express yourself. And do not, if you express yourself from this place of just fear and anxiety, then okay, it's good to voice, okay, maybe now I'm anxious. You bring it into awareness, bring it into cognition, but you don't need to communicate all these fears that usually turn out into, when we communicate from a place of fear, we come out defensive and anxious, and that's not really helping any of us. We need to stay grounded before we truly communicate where we are. We need to understand where we are. We need to understand our actions. We need to understand um, which energy am I really embodying right now. If I'm coming from this place of fear, it's only gonna create more, I don't know, this defensiveness, and see these persons like crossing their hearts, and like really protective, their hearts, and um guarding this realm between the physical and the emotional. The water is somewhere behind it, and the moon is like decreasing. It's after full moon, I forgot how it's called, when it's going smaller and smaller until it becomes a new moon. Waning, maybe, I don't know. um I'm not saying that we shouldn't communicate our fears. Sometimes it's good to know and put them on the table. But if we only communicate it from this place, then there's no groundedness. The Nine of Swords fully asks for staying grounded, and really address the fears within ourselves. Address us for ourselves, not helping for someone else to come and alleviate them. It's still our job, and we can do it. So yeah, hold on a little bit. Don't. This is what two so it's like. See what you're holding back in terms of emotions, and see how where you're becoming defensive or where you're becoming triggered. See how you're acting from fear, and fear of the future. Really, Nine of Swords talks a lot about fear of the future, fear of that it will somehow be the same like the past, or what you were afraid of. As your advice, you have the Queen of Cups and the Six of Swords. So yeah, Six of Swords says to move away exactly from this. Like, your focus may not be what you need right now. Focusing on your fears and focusing on your anxiety is not going to help really navigate this. What will help you navigate this is going into your emotions. Really, that's where the gold is for you right now. And I know that's not exactly your typical thing, and you gotta um you will you're learning through this, you're navigating this, you're going to embody this star, and you're going to bring yourself that healing, and you can understand emotions quite deeply, Aquarius, when you're actually allowing yourself to feel. So allow yourself to feel, embody that Queen of Cups energy, which is nurturing, which is loving, which is caring, which is really, really feeling along with the other person, and being present wholeheartedly. Have empathy, both for yourself and for the people in your life that you are to whom you're showing up into some type of relationship. We always connected somehow into the world. Have empathy for the world. It's very easy to judge from a place of fear, and we can get stuck in judgment. Queen of Cups also talks about keeping being more like reflective, and you have a lot of like this rather silent and reflective energies, the high priestess, the empress, the queen of cups, you know, like being into that place of receiving and waiting, and not necessarily putting out much action, but more into the processing mode, and feeling through. That's where you are, baby, and that's what's going to really, really guide you through. That inner wisdom comes from emotions. It comes from time spent alone with yourself to rejuvenate and energize yourself. And that's also what's going to enable you to move away from the situations that give you so much anxiety. Moving away means like not rejecting the experience. It's okay to see that you have that type of fear right now, and that like maybe um suppressed things start coming at you in your dreams, or in your like not being able to sleep, feeling edgy, feeling restless. It's good to see it for what it is. Okay, um, be aware of the experience and feel present with it, feel nurturing with it, befriend that part of you that feels this way. But you don't need to embody it. You don't, I mean, like embody it, you don't need to live it. See the story for what it is. It's just a story. See how the mind freaks out. See how the body follows. See how we shut down. See how we, all this process. And then don't take it as your own. Don't take it as your identity. This is what enables you to navigate this, you know? The six of swords is moving away from a type of thinking, or a situation that doesn't really serve you. That's been much suffering in there. Look at this too. There's so much suffering in this nine of swords, and there's that moment of relief where you know that you going on the other side with being safe, to safety. This place holds no kindness for you. And you're moving towards the Queen of Wands with the Two of Wands. And the Queen of Wands is like feeling really empowered. She's more of an action lady. All these other ladies are more reflective. They're waiting. They're like, you know, in that receiving energy, attracting energy. The Queen of Wands goes out there and she does the thing. All queens talk about being agents of the heart. How to explain this? Sorry. Pages are agents of transformation, and the knights are of expansion. The queens are expressing the heart and nurturing and caring for the suit, and the kings talk about the need, like it's the necessity, the need, being able to do whatever needs to be done in order for the needs to be met. But the queens, this is not one of the most like nurturing queens, but she's been through that process of nurturing her soul, her heart. She's very much aware. She's connected to the deepest parts of her psyche and of her being, and she's fully aware of all her dark side as well as her brighter side, and she's accepted them both because she's been into that high priestess energy where she was acquainted with both the dark and the light, and she becomes empowered to make choices. Where the Two of Wands appears means that you have choices. You can make whatever the fuck choices you want. You don't need to go for the first thing that comes into your path, yeah, you literally hold the world in your hand. You hold your world in your hand. You're creating your reality here. But with the Queen of Wands, you could take this from an empowered position, from a place of full confidence and awareness. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna pull out a Rumi card for you. from my Rumi oracle. Okay, so the card that comes in is the Hand of Fatima. And it makes sense because you're in that place where you're giving birth to something. You're giving birth to a lot of spirit. You're creating a new version of yourself, in a sense, or you're creating, with this whole the King of Swords and loving the self for what it is. You create space for that. You create space for you to for more love, for more awareness, for more compassion, for connectivity. And you're creating the space for you to be who you are. When the Aquarius is well known for feeling always different, special, like just not with the crowd. He's always the weirdo in a crowd. He's always the one that stands out because of like oddity of this character generally. But and sometimes Aquariuses can really feel out of place, like feel disconnected from the world, even though he's also the humanitarian and the one that's like most connected with the world. So it's a little bit of an interesting juggle of perception there. And you're creating space for you to be exactly who you are. You're creating space into the world for you to be the different person that you are, but to still be and still feel like you're part of the world, not outside of it, looking at it, and that's it. I'm going to read to you a little bit about this card to understand what this means with this whole giving birth to something. This is the number 43, which means 7. Alright, so the Rumi poem says, I can never leave you, not for a moment, not for an hour. You are in everything I do. You are my everything. My drink is your sweetness. I move to your command. I am surrendered prey in your hands, and you are my consuming lion. Your soul and my soul are truly one soul. I swear to our one soul, I long for no one but you. In the garden of your grace, I'm only a germinating sprout. The crown of my blooming is the desire to be in your arms. This can be a little bit abstract. If it makes a lot of sense to you, it's great. If it doesn't, that's okay as well. But my point, what this talks about is like you're giving birth to more spirit than you have ever held before. During such times, a divine midwife can be helpful and supportive. This is Fatima, radiant daughter of the great beloved, who reaches from the skies, who reaches up from your body, from within your body, from deep within the earth, and brings you the gift of protection, grace, of love and love. You are safe, you are held, and you are bound within her warmth. She has received your prayers and she honors your devotion to life, to love, and to growth. Okay, so this oracle brings you the guidance that what is being born in your life right now, in your own consciousness, as a seed, perhaps of a new way of being yourself, a new idea, belief system, philosophy, or sense of self, yes, is going to come to maturity and loving protection of the Divine Mother. You're also being asked to heed your intuition and instincts, have some discernment about who you involve yourself with, and how you choose to use your time and energy. This oracle also brings you the message that your body is sacred and worth your attention. And it seems to be a little bit challenging for you right now, the Empress being in your challenge position, but it is important. And You do not need to have to be obsessed. You do not have to push or judge your body, but you can honor him or her as a sacred animal through which your spirit creates soul and expresses itself into the world. This is a truly wonderful and amazing gift, extraordinary and yet fraught with challenge. The spirit can be powerful, sometimes it can be hesitant too, enough to really engage with the body and come to life. The guidance that comes from this oracle says giving your body rest and healing is most beneficial at this time. There are symptoms you are experiencing, anything from fuzzy headedness to tiredness and aches and pains, as well as shifts in the body temperature that seem unbalanced. And these are directly related, if not solely, to the interaction of your spiritual essence with your sacred animal body. These will even out under Fatima's grace. Can be like this. Can think of this as just a protective energy. We don't need to necessarily relate to this name Fatima. It's more about the role of this energy. So this will even out under Fatima's grace and protection, like two housemates learning to live together and enhance each other rather than distract and annoy each other with their quirks and differences. This is settling in process will happen all the more easily when you ask for Fatima's help. Ask, trust, and receive. Okay, so this is it. Like you are befriending your body and learn like how sharpen your intuition and learn how to be this new version of yourself, a more aware version of yourself, really. and, and you are safe to do so. You're held, you have this spiritual midwife there with you as a guiding energy. All right, my darlings, I hope this makes sense to you. And yeah, if you did, please like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you here really, really soon. Have a beautiful October, Aquarius.